On a sunny afternoon in the bustling neighborhood of Maple Grove, 12-year-old Jamal rode his bike down the street, his favorite pastime after school. His mother, a hard-working single parent, always reminded him to help others when he could, so he kept an eye out for ways to lend a hand. As he passed a quaint blue house on the corner, Jamal noticed an elderly man struggling with his keys. The man, with his hands trembling, muttered under his breath as he fumbled with the lock. Jamal skidded his bike to a stop. "Excuse me, sir. Do you need help?" Jamal called out, hopping off his bike. The elderly man looked up, his face softening into a grateful smile. "Oh, young man, if you could. These old hands aren't as steady as they used to be." Jamal walked up and gently took the keys. He tried a couple of keys until one clicked. The door swung open, revealing a cozy living room filled with books and the faint smell of cookies baking. "Thank you, son. What's your name?" the man asked, his voice warm. "Jamal," he replied, grinning. "Glad I could help." The man introduced himself as Mr. Hargrove and offered Jamal a cookie as a thank you, but Jamal politely declined. "I've got to get home. My mom will be waiting," he said, hopping back on his bike. "Have a great day, Mr. Hargrove." Little did Jamal know, this small act of kindness had set something extraordinary in motion. The next morning, Jamal and his mother, Mrs. Carter, were startled by a knock at the door. Jamal opened it to find Mr. Hargrove standing there with a broad smile, holding an envelope and a large basket of goodies. "Good morning, Jamal." "Mrs. Carter, may I come in? I have something to share," he said. Mrs. Carter, a bit puzzled but polite, invited him in. "Of course, Mr. Hargrove. Please, have a seat." Mr. Hargrove sat on their modest couch, his eyes sparkling. "First, I want to thank Jamal again for helping me yesterday. It may have seemed like a small thing, but it meant the world to me. You see, I'm not just your neighbor. I'm also the founder of the Hargrove Foundation, which helps young people achieve their dreams." Jamal's eyes widened. "Whoa, really?" Mr. Hargrove chuckled. "Yes, really. And because of your kindness, I'd like to do something for you and your wonderful mother." He handed Mrs. Carter the envelope. She opened it, her hands trembling, and gasped. Inside was a letter stating that Mr. Hargrove had paid off the mortgage on their home. Tears filled her eyes. I don't know what to say. This is incredible. Thank you." But Mr. Hargrove wasn't done. He turned to Jamal. "Young man, I've also arranged a full scholarship for your college and university education. Your future is bright, and I want to help you achieve it." Jamal's jaw dropped. "Are you serious? This is amazing. Thank you so much, Mr. Hargrove." The news spread through the neighborhood like wildfire. Jamal became a local hero, and the story of his kindness and Mr. Hargrove's generosity inspired many. Jamal and his mother's lives were forever changed, not just because of the gifts they received, but because they learned that even the smallest acts of kindness could open doors to unimaginable opportunities. As for Jamal, he worked hard in school, knowing that his dream of becoming an engineer was now within reach. And every time he passed Mr. Hargrove's house, he stopped to say hello, always remembering the day a simple gesture unlocked a future he never could have imagined.